What's up guys, Anime Logician here, and today we're going to be doing a video based on what I'm watching for the fall season of 2022. Honestly, there's a lot of good anime titles here, and a lot to keep up with, to be fair. Currently, I've watched about 12 or 13 anime titles. Yes, that is a lot, and it took me about, I want to say, maybe 3 weeks of catching up, just because there's just so many episodes to these animes that are already out. And how we're gonna do this is I'm gonna go from primary, secondary, and tertiary. To give out some context, primary is basically the top 5 to 6 anime titles I'm gonna focus on. Secondary would be majority of titles I'm going to watch after I'm done watching the primary titles. And then tertiary is basically what I'm gonna keep on the back burner just in case I don't watch it or I don't have the time to finish it, which, let's be real, I'm probably going to be up to date with all the anime within the season. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright, starting off this list, we have Bleach, the 1000-Year Blood War arc, and let me tell you something, this is one of my favorite arcs from the series, and to be fair, it's probably the best arc of all time within the series. So, of course, I'm an OG fan of Bleach. I would never lie about that. I currently own the first 3 seasons in my anime collection, the 3rd season being the limited edition with the Ichigo mask standee, the hollow mask standee, which is really, really nice, by the way. Honestly, with this new season, I am like really hyped with the animation, the plot, the character development. The character development's only getting so much better. So we learned the history of Ichigo, Uryu, Gotite 13, the Stern Ritters, basically a lot of development here for the characters, and I'm so hyped for it because just when you think you know everything about the characters in the anime, there's even more to it. It's like the Espada arc where you learn about the Espadas and their backstories and how they came to be. It's sort of like the Stern Ritter arc compared to that, and even more within the characters, the main characters of Bleach themselves. For example, I didn't know this, but a few months ago I had recently found out that Kai and Shiba was related to Ichigo, and I thought that was really interesting. So in my opinion, this anime only gets better and better, and as I said before, if this anime turns out to be perfect, I'm gonna turn my rating from a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 just because I feel like this makes up for more than what we got from the crappy filler arcs. But again, that's just my opinion. Alright, next up we have Chainsaw Man, and to be fair, this is one of the most hyped anime within the season and possibly one of the better animes within the season alone. I would say it's actually up there with Bleach, and a lot of people are going to agree with me. Alright, so what I love about Chainsaw Man is not only the plot, but the character development and the animation is godlike. Like, no joke, let me explain. So I love the plot because when I did look into the trailer and hear about the story, it had a lot of key elements that reminded me of Bleach, which is amazing because I'm a Bleach fan, and of course, in my opinion, this just makes the show so much better. You know how Bleach has its idea of destroying hollows? Well, in Chainsaw Man, they have the idea of destroying devils, which is amazing. The main character is simple. He has a simple goal, somewhat like Ichigo Kurosaki, and that's another thing that people can relate to and actually like about the main character. Like Denji, his main goal is to grope or cop a pair of breasts, and when I first heard that, I was like, what? That's really simple, yet I guess somewhat different compared to most characters from like Naruto, Goku, Ichigo, and like other characters that have never really done that. But another thing I like about the anime is the animation. The animation is god tier. It's up there with Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of like just, I don't know. Ever since Demon Slayer came out, I feel that the animation within like just lots of animes has stepped up and has gotten so much better throughout the years. And in my opinion, that's always a good thing. Another thing, I do love the intro to Chainsaw Man. It's amazing. I was actually putting it on repeat the last day, like yesterday. I had it on repeat for like a whole hour, and it was just an amazing song to vibe to. In my opinion, Chainsaw Man is definitely one of the better animes within the season, and I believe people should watch it. Alright, next up we have Blue Lock, and this is another one of my favorite animes, as I am a Hispanic, Latino. I am a fan of sports animes, Haikyuu being one of them. I'm also into basketball, soccer, or for some of you people out there, football. And what I love about this is the main character has a dream where he wants to play in the pro circuit, the pro league, and there are a lot of people just like him, but some of these people will not make it, and some of these people will. Now that me and my brother were even discussing about this anime yesterday around I think it was like 7 or 8 o'clock, right? And both of us being soccer or football fans, we came to a conclusion where a lot of the good stuff about this anime was the animation, the character development, and how a lot of these characters grow in time during each episode. Another thing I like about this is how they analyze actual soccer or football players, and how some of them could have egos, which is funny because my brother did mention that he is more of a fan of Messi compared to Ronaldo. And I will say Neymar Jr. is also another good soccer football player, but my brother mentioned his reasoning for why Messi he thinks is better is because Messi has won more titles, and his playstyle is a lot more simpler, even though basic, a lot more efficient compared to Ronaldo's, as where Ronaldo seems to be more of a flashy player, as in he'll do tricks to try to make it seem he's more superior to other soccer players, or in the fact that, there is a fact that Ronaldo hasn't won as much titles as Messi, and where Ronaldo seems to have actually choked a few times within a few championships. So again, take that for how you will, but I believe this is another good anime that people are going to want to watch if they're into sports or just soccer / football in general. Alright, next up we have My Hero Academia, and this is another anime I'm actually enjoying right now, as I believe a lot of the trash talking towards My Hero Academia should possibly stop at this point. Alright, so what I mean at this point is that a lot of people have been saying that ever since Season 2, My Hero Academia hasn't been as good as most people would assume it to be, but I do believe there is some truth to that. It's not facts, but there is some truth. Now then, with this new season, I do believe that this is actually going to be a lot bigger than how some people would imagine. We are now into the point where it's the main part of where the heroes are facing the villains, and a lot's going on here. Of course, the animation's good, the plot is getting much better, and the development for the characters is, I think, the best part of this series. Now then, I've been paying attention to the series a lot lately. I do own seasons 1 through 4 in my anime collection, so there's that. I'm not gonna say that My Hero Academia is the best anime within the season, because of course, a lot of people are paying attention to more Bleach, Bocchi the Rock, which was surprising when I found that out, and overall Chainsaw Man. So a lot of these animes that I'm noticing that came out like a year or a few years ago aren't as relevant as the newer animes today. But again, that's just me, in my opinion. A lot of people could think differently. Who knows? Alright, next up we have Bocchi the Rock. And, after seeing this anime, I've come to a conclusion that I do love this anime. And this is coming from a fan of K-On!, which I did watch a long time ago. Alright, so what I love about Bocchi the Rock is, in fact, I am a K-On! Fan, and that possibly plays into a lot of it, but aside from that, I love the main character and how she's so introverted and shy, because I too consider myself to be very introverted. I'm not really a sociable person, as I would rather, read a book, watch an anime, play video games, compared to how most extroverts would probably go to parties, dance, have a more sociable life, as where, I would rather not do any of that. It's very funny because I relate to the bassist more than anything, and I have a friend who could actually relate a lot to the main character. But aside from that, I am a huge fan of rock music and metal music, and with this anime, with the animation being the way it is, its style and the character depth to these characters, I actually feel like it's really great. And I feel like if people love K-On, if they like characters that are relatable or are just into like rock music, then they should possibly watch Bocchi the Rock, as this is something I would actually recommend to people. Alright, next up we have Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury, and I am loving this anime. As a huge Gundam fan, I had to watch it and I'm loving it. So ever since I was 8 years old and watching my first anime titles, Mobile Suit Gundam has been one of the greatest mech series I've seen in like history, and it deals with a lot of things that I'm interested in. The first Gundam series that I was into was Mobile Fighter G Gundam, which a lot of people don't like because it falls back on shonen elements and kind of discards its original ideas and concepts, which I too did not like. But Mobile Fighter G Gundam, I feel like, was something just a bit different, but not as well as executed as some of the original work for, Gundam in general. Iron-Blooded Orphans and Gundam 00 are some of my favorite series, but with this new series, Witch from Mercury, I feel like there's a lot of things that are actually good about this anime. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it's like an 8 out of 10, just because it's a really great anime, and I think people should get into it, Originally, when I was watching the first episode, I felt a bit sad to what happened to the main character's father and how he died, and how she didn't really have anyone left in her life because aside from her mother, she didn't really get to celebrate her birthday because of the Gundam issue. Politics, war play out in this series a lot like its other counterparts, and to be fair, that's why I love Gundam so much. Gundam is very emotional. It has a lot of political and warlike substance within its anime, and a lot of people who are into complex anime or just love some good character development will actually agree with me and say that this anime is great. Hopefully a lot of people will watch this and get more into the mecha genre, because I believe this is one of the better series within Gundam in general. Next up, we got Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, and I've been following this anime since season 1, right? Even when it was blowing up on Twitter and all this, extra BS started happening. I also currently have volumes 1 through 7 in my manga collection, so yes, I am following with the manga as well. And there's a lot that I like about this anime. So currently what I like about the anime, it is a rom-com, and I'm a huge fan of rom-coms. Of course, I'm also into the fact that the animation's amazing. The plot's really interesting. It's not like the most original plot, but it is an interesting plot. And I do like the fact that there is a lot of character growth between the two main characters and the cast outside the two main characters. I did notice, though, in season 1 to season 2, the voice did change somewhat, so I'm not sure what's going on. If there's new voice actors or if there's anyone, just doing something different with the voices, then I'm probably gonna have to, research, find out what happened, and at that point, I'll probably get to the bottom of it. But aside from that, I'm actually liking the anime, and I will continue on with watching the anime and collecting the manga as well. Alright, next up we have Spy Family, and I've actually been a fan of this anime for a long time, since season 1, and to be fair, I'm also collecting the manga because the manga is also good. Alright, so what I like about Spy Family is originally I thought about it and I was like, whoa, why does this remind me of James Bond and Kill Bill? But no, this actually reminds me of another movie that I feel like is heavily based on it, or took some inspiration from it, and that movie's called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. basically one's a spy, one's an assassin, and I'm like, wait, why is this such a good concept? And it's like, it's because no one's ever done it before, you know? Of course, this reminds me of the whole Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing, but aside from that, it's like you just threw a dog into the concept. You threw a telepathic girl into that concept, and you turned it into an anime, and I'm like, dude, that's genius. Like, why has no one ever thought about that before? I mean, give or take, it's not an original concept, and people can debate on that because it's been taken from a movie, but aside from that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wouldn't mind, as, you know, there's new concepts being thrown into that idea and being animated, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people love it, as it's sold a lot of manga, and it's one of the most viewed anime at this current time. In my opinion, it's a really great anime, and I'm going to continue on watching the anime as well as collecting the manga. Alright, next up we have Mob Psycho 3, and I actually feel bad about just getting into this anime at this current time, as I've only finished Season 1, and I'm about to get into Season 2. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've been watching anime since I was 8 years old, and I've actually seen about 400 plus titles. I have 2 friends that have actually seen more anime than I have, and you know, that's surprising because I thought to myself, who would watch more than 400 episodes or 400 anime titles while in their lifespan, you know? And apparently, there are 2 people that have seen about 600 anime titles, which were my friends, and I had no idea. So it's come to a surprise that, of course, most people that feel this way, they know for a fact that there's so many good anime titles out there that it's hard to keep up with all of them within everyday seasons, you know? For example, sometimes you'll have about 16 good anime titles, 20 anime titles, and then currently on my watch list, I have another 300 to 400 anime titles, and I feel bad that I've just been recently now watching Mob Psycho, as Mob Psycho's entire Season 1 was amazing. The animation was great, the humor was extremely funny, and it kinda sucks that I'm just now getting into this anime. Regardless, I'm gonna keep watching Mob Psycho till I get to Season 3, and then currently I'll be watching other things that I'm trying to catch up on. Alright, next up we have Golden Kamuy, and I honestly feel terrible for not watching this anime in the first place when it was released back in 2018. We are currently on Season 4, and I feel that, you know, I wasted some time not being able to watch this because it is just such a good anime, and I feel like I've missed out on a lot. Alright, so my favorite part about Golden Kamuy is the plot. We go from a battlefield between Russia and Japan, and basically this all-out war, into a soldier and his company wanting to find this golden treasure, which is almost impossible. And the main issue is the fact that you need to find the map. The only problem with that is the map is tattooed on a bunch of prisoners that the main character either has to find and either A, help them out on a journey, or B, kill them. Basically skin them and make a map out of their skin, as of course the map was tatted on them, and it just gets really interesting from the episode by episode on how it goes. There is a lot of culture within this anime, a lot of cultures, different characters from different cultures, a lot of in-depth for the characters, and a lot of growth. And I do love the intro and the outro to this anime, as I've actually looked for it on Spotify and I had found it the other day. So this is one of the animes I really do regret not watching when it was released back in 2018, 2019, because it's such a good anime. But again, we're already on Season 4, so I'll have time to catch up to it, and hopefully by that time I'll have it, you know, completed. Next up, we have Season 3 of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, and this is an anime that my friend had recommended to me a long time ago, which I'm kind of saddened that I didn't get to see Season 1, Season 2, or Season 3 of it, because for an anime to get 3 seasons, that's pretty rare. For an anime to get 2 seasons, well, that's somewhat uncommon. So, of course, again, I haven't seen Season 1, Season 2, or Season 3 of Iruma-kun, and honestly, I've seen this anime a lot in video compilations or just, certain videos in general, and I feel like I'm somewhat missing out, as this reminds me of Rosario plus Vampire or any of those other demon monster school, slash animes. And I feel like I could be watching this and I could get a good laugh out of it, out of like most of the episodes. So this is an anime I will be watching when the time comes and when I've caught up to a lot of these other anime titles. So I'm just gonna hope I have the time to see it. Alright, so this next anime is Do It Yourself. I don't really know if I'm going to watch this, as I have a lot to keep up with, and this is an interesting anime with an interesting concept. So with it being so original, I may watch it, as that's something I'm very interested in. Here we have somewhat of an interesting isekai. This is basically another isekai where the OP character wants to basically tame the final boss and basically dog walk him and tell him what to do and all this other stuff. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of isekai, so I might just skip this just because it's not my cup of tea and I'm not really into it. Here we have Shinobi no Itoki, and to be fair, this is an anime I might not watch at all just because, again, I have little to no time. I'm just now barely keeping up with all of the other animes I've mentioned beforehand, and honestly, if this does turn out to be a great anime, I may regret not watching it, just like I said I had regretted not watching Golden Kamuy and Mob Psycho, and hopefully I'll get to watch it someday. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I'm going to be watching for the season fall of anime for 2022, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys, get something recommended to you or something that, you're interested in. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.